The apple motif is memorialized in other myths. For example, in Greek myth, the Trojan hero Paris is asked to judge between three beauties, Hera,
Athena, and Aphrodite.
Zeus tells him to award the golden apple from the Garden of Hesperides to the fairest of the three. In making his choice, the so-called judgment of Paris, he hands the apple to Aphrodite, just as Eve handed the fruit to Adam. The iconography is the same. The same archetype is used in another contest of the fairest of them all, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. In these representations of the mythic symbolism, the hands are joined through the fruit. Sometimes the hands touch and sometimes they do not. But implied, if not explicit, is the clasping of hands. In other representations of Adam and Eve, the apple is no longer present and the express handshake replaces the apple. In some variations of the mythic scene of the twins with outstretched arms, the tree is replaced by God as the central columnar figure. In this pencil drawing by William Blake, God the Father has just created Eve and is giving her to Adam. The joining of the two will be the sacred hand clasp, implied by God taking the two hands and drawing them together. This woodcut of God giving Eve to Adam uses the same archetypal image. Though the biblical record does not state it openly, Adam and Eve were married. According to Jewish legend, God himself performed the ceremony on the sixth day in the garden. The legends do not specify the exact presentation, but we know from early representations that the marriage was performed by dexiosis, the clasping of hands. In this drawing, Adam and Eve clasp hands as God blesses the union. This is the same pattern as the marriage of Moses and Zipporah, the Greco-Roman versions of the dexiosis between husband and wife, the marriage of the Virgin, and the European wedding. Notice in the drawing, the iconography of the original twins is preserved. Adam's right arm and Eve's left arm form enclosing crescents. Both hold trees representative of the axis mundi. Adam and Eve clasping hands is presented in the LDS iconography as well as in the representation of the married couple in the Garden of Eden. The hand clasp as a symbol of marriage, or, more specifically, a symbol of the union of male and female, originates from the twin archetype. Male and female twins extend their hands to each other and clasp them when they meet in the center. The center itself is a conjunction of Mars and Venus, which represent the male and female powers of heaven. 17th century Dutch wedding booklets are very clear on this point. Their iconography repeatedly equates the handclasp of marriage with the heart, signifying the presence of the heavenly heart of hearts, Mars. Note the circular enclosure and the cloud-like crescents from which the hands extend. This booklet has the handshake under a heart or perhaps an apple and the tree of Eden. Some booklets portrayed the handshake associated with two hearts bound together. The female heart represents Venus as the heart of heaven. The male heart represents Mars as the heart of hearts. The scriptural reference to Matthew 19 within the wreath and above the handshake explains the meaning of the marital handshake in bound hearts. As Jesus Christ explained to the Pharisees, men and women were created together to become one flesh. Just as Mars and Venus, male and female are conjoined into one. So husband and wife become one flesh through the binding of hearts and the joining of hands.